Today, we're going to be talking about our worst flight experiences.
I hate flying so much. It's actually, I think it's literally my greatest fear.
Why do you hate flying so much?
It's like the thing of having no control over like the flight going good, you know? I had to put all my trust into this one pilot's hands, and then half the time, they don't even like fly it themselves. They use autopilot.
You don't believe in Alexa? You think Alexa's gonna be watching you the whole time, and you don't trust her?
Siri can't even respond to me when I speak English. How can I expect a plane to fly itself, you know?
Okay, you know what? You got a point there.
I had many flights in my life, and almost all of them contain something memorable. I never have a normal flight, okay? Just a normal flight.
What do you mean?
A baby crying, that way. The air conditioning not working. A weird smell on the plane. The guy in front is like leaning all the way back, crushing me.
Oh, that's the worst.
I had food poisoning. Even worse, sick people coughing every single minute, and they're like right next to me.
I kind of like to take the people's sickness and I like to put it in my mouth. So like,
I hate you.
It's like I'm closer with them as like a family, you know?
Do you purposely get sick to get other people sick?
No. But listen, like back in the day, I used to make myself throw up so I could leave school early.
Okay, all this bad stuff, none of it compares of this one flight. I was going to Japan. Oh my God.
Oh my God, Japan, time so amigos.
Why am I going to Japan? This was actually for the Roblox convention. I was invited.
Man, going to a Roblox confession. Whoa.
I was invited by Mr. Roblox himself.
You know Mr. Roblox?
Mm-hmm. Turns out he was sending out YouTubers to Japan to see their latest and greatest games. And they wanted me. I don't know why. I don't know why they cared about my opinion, but they wanted me. A mentally unstable person.
He just heard about it and just went.
Yeah, he just walked in and didn't say anything.
Why would I give up on this opportunity? I wanted to go to Japan. This is a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity.
It gives you an excuse to go to Japan. Yeah.
Exactly. I had to go. I threw my clothes in a bag. I threw my 2 flat-screen TVs, the whole PC setup. I was ready to travel. I traveled a lot before, but this was going to Japan. And this is on the longer side. It's about 16 hours.
Are you serious?
Yeah, it's so far.
A single flight was 16 hours long?
It's brutal.
That's literally 2/3 of a day.
I can't sit still for more than like 2 minutes. I have like 4 monitors right now, and I'm looking at 4 things at once. How do they expect me to sit still in a 1-by-1 cubicle for 16 hours? It's not possible.
Do they have TikTok shorts and Subway Surfers playing on the monitors?
I need YouTube shorts.
YouTube shorts. Ugh, it's even worse.
The worst part is when you get onto the plane, you get to see all those fancy people in first class, who, by the way, they basically have beds going all the way down. Infinite leg room. Oh, just shoving it in. Oh, so nice. So pretty. So kawaii.
Excuse me? Wait, what?
You're admitting that you're a brokey and couldn't get first class?
Yeah, aren't you like a bajillionaire?
I have a bajillion Robux, but somehow that doesn't get us flights. This was a ticket they bought me. This is what they covered. I had to look at those people in first class and like walk my way back all the way to the back of the plane.
Nah, he had an Arthur fist all the way to the back.
Why didn't you try to fight them, Socks?
I'm challenging them to a duel. I'm not British.
What are you saying?
I'm not gonna pull out a sword and start dueling though.
I mean, you guys still lost the soccer game, so like, it's not really...
Shut up!
The seat I was in, it was called Comfort, but I wasn't fooled. They just renamed Economy. Juicy was right behind me because, you know, England always comes behind.
Yo, what?
The thing is, I sat down in my seat. I was crushed by 2 masculine 6'4" men on each side. My wildest dreams.
Okay, so this whole thing's about worst flight experience. You just tell me the best thing ever to happen to you?
Yeah.
How could this be the worst flight experience possible?
It has to go up for it to go down.
Oh, it definitely went up.
I didn't see no babies in sight. I couldn't see them nowhere. No nadways. No weird smells coming from anywhere. Maybe from me, a little bit.
My biggest pet peeve ever on flights is when it's too hot.
When there's no AC, bro, it's the worst.
My second biggest pet peeve is when you're not subscribed.
And when me and Uf were flying together, this one girl next to me had her toes out, bro. Oh my.
That sounds good. What are you talking about? I could have took some pictures.
Dude, they were French people. They were disgusting and they smelled and they had like the toenails were like curling and everything. It was disgusting.
But what if I said something worse than that? So you know how I said there was 2 guys sitting next to me? There was a person on my right, a guy maybe in his mid-40s, slightly bigger fella, seemed like a cool guy. Okay, we're gonna give him a name, Mr. John.
Mr. John.
You know, since it was such a long flight of 16 hours, I thought it was the nice thing to do to introduce myself, say hello.
Oh, you're one of those people that like to chat on flights, dude. I'm antisocial. I don't talk to anybody.
No, I'm not one of those people.
No, well, listen, 16 hours, I would want another person next to me, you know? That's just like...
No. no. I am antisocial. I'm introverted. I'm not gonna talk to nobody, dude. I stay quiet. I watch my anime and go continue.
If it's under like 4 hours, I'm not even talking to you. We're talking about 16 hours.
I think over 2 hours, I might talk to you. I might give you a little whisper.
I'm not like a guy that wants to have the conversation. I'm more on like the introverted side. 16 hours. I need to, you know, at least say what's up. Like, what if I need to go to the bathroom and I don't even know his name or something? I introduce myself. We start talking a bit. The plane hasn't even lifted off. Everyone's putting their baggage down. We were talking. He was really nice. Started talking about our travel experiences. And obviously, since he was older, he actually had a lot of different adventures. But the thing was, it kept going. I have my Nintendo Switch with me. I downloaded a bunch of games and I was ready to lock in and play away. Dude, I had Mario Kart. I had Mario Party. This was my chance to play Zelda Breath of the Wild and I didn't get the chance to play it.
You had 16 hours to play a video game and you didn't?
This is how bad it was. And this is all true. You can ask Eric. This is how crazy this was.
What was so crazy?
The fact that this dude was talking to him the whole time.
We were talking and the thing was, he didn't stop talking. No matter how many times I looked away or pulled out my Switch, he kept on talking to me. 5 minutes go by, 15 minutes go by, an hour goes by, okay? Our plane is in the air, okay? We're going and stuff. He is yapping. 2 hours go by.
Sucks. Do you think he had a wife maybe?
Don't get me wrong. Like, how is this a horrible flight experience, man? It was a friendly conversation. It was a bit one-sided, but it wasn't like weird or anything. Like, he was just talking about his adventures and stuff like that. And maybe I didn't give the best signals. It's hard for me to cut in like mid-story. His story seemed to never end. I never had an opportunity to be like, you know what? I don't want to talk to you anymore.
Say it right in his face. Yeah, let him know.
Usually when I talk to people, I'm like, yes, sir. Yes, ma'am. I'm like smiling and stuff. I get like very like...
Yeah, you there's a lot of smiling.
I was just smiling, looking at him. I was hoping it was going to end, but the stories ended up going from friendly into a nightmare. Mr. John starts trauma dropping on his entire life.
That is my nightmare.
He is currently flying to Japan to see his ex-wife, who he has a kid with.
I would have loved this tea, honestly. Honestly, I don't think this is a bad flight experience. I want to hear this tea so much badly now.
Why it's so crazy is that turns out his current wife is sitting right behind us with his other kid. And they were listening in on the whole conversation as he was yapping away to me.
Did they know that the reason that we're going to Japan was to see his ex-wife?
I have no idea. As he was yapping this entire time, he was pointing me out to his current wife and his current kid. I had to make eye contact with them behind us. I'm sitting there right now and all I'm doing is smiling. I'm just nodding and like I'm agreeing that his messed up life is okay. Like I'm like, oh yeah, I agree.
Dude, it's the blind leading the blind. This is not a good look.
Finally broke the conversation, which after hours, I guess the overhearing of the conversation was so awkward for the current wife that she got up and asked the flight attendant to move seats with her current kid. No! So they got up and they moved up, which finally allowed me to like break away from the conversation and finally play my Nintendo Switch. After hours, out of everything, even I had to deal with babies crying for hours and hours, literally yelling in our ear. That was still somewhat better than whatever I just experienced.
Totally wonder like the secondhand embarrassment you felt there. That would have consumed me.
Can you describe what he looks like?
He looks like your average American. He has like those dad shorts. He has a tan. He has a big beer belly.
Would you say he's easy to draw?
This flight has definitely mentally scarred me to talk to anyone ever again who sits next to me.
The tea is amazing, but I would have felt bad if I made the wife move. Mine is nowhere near that bad. But basically, one time, my dad planned a little vacation with me and my grandpa. And what we were going to do is we were going to go on a baseball game tour.
Oh, you were going to see the Mets, baby, the Mets.
We saw like the Red Sox, we saw the Yankees, and we saw some other team. I don't know, blah, blah, blah. It's been a while. We had like literally flights planned back to back to back. And I think I was like 12 or 13 during this. And so back in the day, I used to be so afraid of flights.
That's understandable.
It literally made me like super scared, like nervous. Like I wouldn't want to go on a flight. We would be boarding a plane and I would tell my parents, no, you can leave me here. It's okay. I'll stay back.
What was the reason why you were so scared? Like what about it was scary?
It was just the fact that like the turbulence scared me. And like what I used to do, I used to be so nervous. There was this website called the Aviation Safety Log. And it was a safety log of literally every single aviation accident that has ever happened in the entire world.
So why would you look that up if you're scared of flying?
It made me feel better that there was not as many crashes and like accidents as there used to be. And I used to literally look over this hours before my flight boarded, and I'd be like, oh my god, this one crashed, but it's in like India, so it's not even American. This one crashed, but it's like Russia. It doesn't really matter.
How does that make you feel better?
They would list literally any accident. It'd be like, oh, flight, maybe wing broken. Like they would list that, or it'd be like, wheel came off before takeoff. No casualties. And so I'd be like, okay. There's accidents, but they're not like serious accidents. And so I use this for my confidence. Like, oh yeah, we're not gonna crash. Oh yeah, we're good. I'm gonna fly the plane myself. I'm gonna crash into the building. I'm that way myself.
What? What did I do to you, bro?
I always gotta include you when I'm talking about planes. It's just it has to happen. Basically, we fly to New York, we fly to Washington and Pennsylvania, and all the flights are super amazing. I'm like, I feel like the third flight, I'm like, okay, yeah, I can enjoy flights now. I understand what's happening. But the last flight, we are flying out of Washington, D.C., okay? Washington, D.C., not a Spirit. We're talking like American. We're talking about American. We only fly American.
That's a true American right there.
Basically, we get to the airport, and I look outside. I've been on my phone playing like Clash of Clans probably the whole time with this Uber ride. I look outside. It's a bit cloudy. It's a bit dark. I'm like, oh, I hate flying in like clouds. I know there's gonna be rain and thunder and lightning.
I love it though.
No, dude, it scares me so much because clouds mean turbulence. But no, I know turbulence has never taken a plane down before. I know that fact too. I did the calculations myself. Getting on this flight was like probably the most bravest thing I've ever had to do. We get into our gate. We got through TSA, perfectly fine, everything. I'm sitting on my phone, looking through all the crash logs and everything. Like, oh, yep, this plane crashed. Yep, but it's okay. Yep, this one's okay. Yep. Yeah, so I'm looking at the crash log, and I hear over the intercom, flight's been delayed. Plane was struck by lightning. Something wrong with some electrical stuff. It was storming outside, and so the plane got struck by lightning, and like some mechanical thing malfunctioned, and so we had to wait on a new plane. Literally like an hour went by, and the storms outside are only getting worse. It starts raining now. It's like you hear thunder everywhere, and another issue comes on. Like, yep, we're gonna delay the flight, maybe like 20 more minutes because of weather. And then I hear the next thing they say absolutely scares the piss out of me. This is what they say.
If weather doesn't appear to get better, we'll just get going. It doesn't matter. Also, hit that subscribe button.
And I'm like, what? Of course I'll subscribe. Wait. What do you mean? We're gonna fly in this weather? I don't want to.
And they say it on like a muffin juice mic, and it's like,
We're gonna die.
I hear it over the intercom. I tell my dad, like, Dad, do we really have to go on this flight? Like, can we just not get another one tomorrow? And he's like, no, son, we gotta get back. This is the only flight they have for the night. I'm like, oh my God, okay. So I start locking in, start listening to Eminem, start listening to Slim Shady. He's trying to lock me in right now. And so basically 20 minutes passes by and they're like, you know what? We're gonna board the flight. And so they go on the intercom.
Groups 1 through 3, priority boarding, whatever, blah, blah, blah.
And I'm like, oh my God, it's literally happened. We're literally about to board a flight. That's about to take off in a tornado. And in my mind, I was just thinking about what I'm gonna do, like who's gonna be at my funeral, who's gonna be giving me flowers in the casket.
oh, me.
I was so scared, you guys. Literally, I was shaking. My dad gave me like adrenaline, like no, not adrenaline. What is it?
Adrenaline.
He gave me Benadryl, which is like supposed to make me sleepy, but my nerves were so high, I was never able to sleep. We get on the flight. I look outside my window. The sky is like bright. The sky is so bright from like lightning going everywhere.
Dude, why didn't you take an Instagram pic, bro? That would have been sick.
Bro, I had an iPad at this age, and I couldn't move my hands from my seat. I was so scared and tensed up. My knees and my quads were so contracted. I was just so nervous.
I'm gonna need you to sit back down, okay? It says to fasten your seatbelt.
You can't keep me on this flight. I'm gonna jump out the flight right now. I want this flight to stop now, please. But the plane's already taken off. I can't do nothing about it. I'm strapped in my seat. I'm staring in front of me. I'm so locked in. I'm just praying. I'm like, Lord, please make the flight. We take off. I'm just looking out the window. I'm shaking at this point. I'm literally shaking. I can see lightning in the sky. I can hear the thunder. I hear the engines roar of the airplane. It's super loud inside the cabin. The plane, you can literally hear like, there's like a burble. We get to a point, we're about to break through the clouds, right? These clouds are huge, dark, lightning everywhere. I'm like, okay, I'm gonna close my eyes, I'm gonna lock in. The plane starts to shake a little bit. I squeeze my dad's hand a little bit harder. I close my eyes a little bit tighter, and I hear the plane stop shaking.
You're in the water.
I'm in heaven now, guys. Look at me. Bismillah, I'm in heaven now. But I look outside the plane, and I see there's like clouds surrounding it, and it was clear in the middle.
You were in the eye of the storm.
Yeah, I was like in the eye of the storm, and I was like, oh, this is like, it's chill now. Like I can see everything happening. But then guess what? I hear the entire plane shut off. I'm not even joking when I say this. I hear the engine stop. I hear like a beep.
And then you hear on the intercom,
Mayday. We're about to crash right now.
My stomach starts floating up into my chest, and the plane starts like falling. I'm not even joking. I am being so serious when I say this.
Wait, oof, how are you still alive right now?
The plane fell maybe like 300 feet. It was like literally like a 3-second thing where the plane starts falling in the air. Everything was turned off, and I'm like, oh my God, I'm gonna die. I literally thought in my moment I was literally gonna die, and cry. Like, I was literally about to cry. But then, like, a second later, everything turns back on. All the lights turn back on. You can hear the engines roaring again, and we start taking off, and like, we keep going up. And so that little mishap, I was closing my eyes for the entire rest of the flight. I was literally just trying to like think of Minecraft.
That is the scariest thing I've heard so far.
I literally told my dad after this, I was like, Dad, I love you. I am never flying ever again. That single flight experience made me just hate flights even more.
That's your story? You nearly died!
Did they ever tell you like the reason or anything?
Okay, so they said on the intercom that we had to reset all of our systems, and that was it. They just said,
We just reset all of our systems. We should be good to go.
and I was like, what do you mean good to go? We just almost crashed.
They freaking factory reset midair. That's crazy.
It was like the drop on like a roller coaster. You could feel your stomach go into your chest.
Your story literally created sweat on my hands. Now I have sweaty hands.
Does anybody else have a flying plane experience? Nadway.
I got one. Mine was actually kind of crazy, bro. I wasn't as crazy as Oops, but it was pretty crazy. That's all I'm gonna say. Let me prepare you guys. Every once in a while, we go down to Lake Florida and have like a little vacation just to hang out. You know, Oops said he flies American.
It's America! He's the definition of America!
I wish, but we decided to fly Spirit. Spirit. This time I didn't know if Spirit was bad or not, but I noticed like my sister was like, "Yo, I do not want to go on this flight."
None of us want to go on this flight. Why are you taking us? I thought you said we were going to the Bahamas, Florida.
But like every other teenage girl's dream, Florida is the best. You know, the pictures you can take.
Oh my God, it literally is every single.
It's my dream. Don't compare me to those sissy girls.
We ended up going to the airport, and I was like, "Yo, I can't wait to go to Florida. This could be so awesome." Because I didn't know if Spirit was bad or not. I was like 8 or 9 at this time. I didn't know nothing at all. We make it to like the groups, and we're group 9. You know, the last, like usual. You know, yeah, you already know.
You're flying Spirit and Group 9? Oh my God. Cockroaches would walk on that plane and be like, nah, that ain't even for us. And they walk out.
What do you mean? When you were flying, you got us group 9.
Anything but Spirit now, but let's be real here.
All right, you guys are hating, right? Spirit isn't that
No, we are
bad, okay?
professional haters. It is that bad. Are you sure there were windows on that plane that way, or they were just like pictures they taken and they tape it on
Bro,
there?
I think it's funny. You know the Madagascar plane? You guys,
That's what you were on.
we basically board, you know, group 9, back to the lowest. And I'm like, oh, I can't wait to go to Florida. Because again, I didn't know if Spirit was goated or not. It wasn't. So we start taking off. And you know, clear skies. It was clear. You know, sunshine and rainbows. I wasn't allowed to sit next to my parents for some reason.
Wait, is this a Spirit Airlines thing, or is this a being Nadway type of thing?
Spirit Airlines is so bad that they have a weight problem, so they have to balance the weight throughout the plane.
Are you calling me fat? Like, I wasn't allowed to sit next to my parents. I sat next to like these 2 random middle-aged men. Yeah, at least I could have been with like a mom at least. This is like a 3-hour flight. And it's clear skies too. So I was like, oh, nothing bad will happen. Surely, right? All right, this is Spirit. There's no hopes or dreams on this, all right? There's nothing. It gets eliminated as soon as you enter the airplane.
As soon as you buy the ticket.
Clear skies, but no. It just decides to shake for some reason. I don't know why. How can it even shake? You know, we're above the clouds and everything, so I don't know what we're hitting. And I'm terrified. And I'm sitting next to these two middle-aged men, right? Guess what? One decides to just troll me or something. You know, I thought it was funny because I was low-key freaking out. So he goes next to me, he's like, the plane is gonna crash.
That's so
Oh my
cheap.
God.
He opens the window to show me how the wing is like shaking, and it looked like there was like few screw looses.
What's good about planes that the wings are supposed to like bend and whatever, so it doesn't snap.
Yeah.
Like,
I didn't know that. And then, you know, after the 2 hours, we finally land.
Yay.
You know what the true crime is in Spirit Airline? No, there's no snacks.
you don't get biscuits.
And anyways, we land, and oh my God, Florida! Then we go back on Spirit Airlines to leave again.
We have this airline, right, called British Airlines.
I mean, who could have guessed that, you know? Like,
We wake up, you know, average day, British day. So this was the first time I was meeting the one and only Socks Studios, okay?
Whoa.
Dark Studios.
I get to the airport in good old Heathrow, London.
Heathrow Airport is literally a liminal space. It's like literally going to the back rooms, dude. It's insane how like disgusting it is.
they made me take my own luggage right off the plane. It's insane.
Classic British.
I got to Britain, you know, airport. And then I went for a good old fish and chips, you know, beforehand. Make sure my belly is full before my flight.
Do you have to do that thing where you're on a horse and then you fight someone else on a horse and you go at each other?
Jousting.
So I board the plane by myself, you know, me and the one and only Juicy go climbing up the little steps. And then I sit down.
Oh, he's so small. He's so tiny. Look at him. Tiny Juicy.
I want to sip his little straw.
You're back away from me. Hold up. Did you guys know that if you sit at the back of the plane, it has the biggest survival chance? So I was like, you know what? I'm going to book at the back of the plane because I never used planes and I was a little terrified. I'm biting my teeth right now. I have no nails left.
Biting your teeth, it has no nails.
So I sit down and guess what? No one was on my row.
Oh, that's the best.
Until the last people come in. I sat down and it was this 60-year-old bloke.
For some reason, I knew you were gonna say bloke.
Did he have that British smell of fish heads?
Yep. It was this 6-year-old bloke and he sat down and he said, oh, by the way, my wife is in the middle of the plane. We couldn't sit next to each other, so I'm going to sit here instead and speak to you for the whole flight.
Whenever they do that, bro, they literally try to get you to switch. I hate those people.
The flight is 8 hours. I was going to New York because I was meeting Blaza actually at New York for the first time. I sat in the plane. I was like, oh my God, okay, I've got to speak. This guy has to speak to me. This old 6-year-old bloke has to speak to me for 8 hours of the flight. And guess what? What the announcer says? They go, after sitting in the plane for half an hour, they go,
By the way, we have a problem with our will.
and I was like,
No.
we couldn't take off. So we don't know how long we're delayed for. I sat there for a whole hour speaking to this guy. He was talking to me about politics.
No.
I was like, what is this guy saying? He's speaking a different entire language. I had no idea. So I was just like, you know, when you look at him and then they speak to you, like they say whole paragraphs and sentences, you go and you're like, yep.
Yep, I know exactly. Yep.
And that's it. That was all I say. And then I accidentally say that, you know, sometimes like, yep. And they're like, no, like, do you actually know what I mean? And I'm like, I have no idea what he's speaking about. And then, so basically, 2.5 hours passed and they go,
Never mind, we done further checks and the will is completely fine.
I was like, are you serious? This whole time the wheel was fine and we could have taken off. So anyway, we eventually take off and then he's still yapping in my right ear about economies, politics. I don't know, even best British food.
Jeez, I would have just put on AirPods and just looked away from him. Why didn't you just
Dude,
do that?
I was so tempted. I wanted to watch 5 movies. I was so excited. I wanted to watch the new Last of Us series. I was so excited. I didn't even end up watching anything. Nothing. The whole entire flight. Whole 8 hours.
Whole 8 hours?
So we were flying over Ireland at one point, and then we had massive turbulence. There was pretzels flying. There was Sunday roasts flying. There was
Sunday roast.
everything flying. Crisps. So anyway, we finally landed. And then I landed in New York. And then guess what? Before meeting Blaza, I got stuck in a whole 2-hour line to go through border control of America.
Honestly, deserved.
The worst part is waiting 2 hours is I was with the bloke, the 6-year-old bloke for 2 hours.
How was he let off the plane?
But anyway, we made it through and then I lost him. I ran away.
He wanted to keep talking to you.
I don't want to speak to that guy ever again. So I see in the distance a tall man approaching towards me. He arched over me and he goes, "Did you see our Blaza?"
And the flight became worth it.
So we met each other. We gave each other a big hug. And then because the line was so long, we missed our next flight. So we had to queue up for another hour to rebook our flight.
That's why you guys came so late.
So then we managed to get on the second flight and then we played Nintendo Switch, me and Blaza, together. It was like a love story.
It's so cute.
And then out of nowhere,
The guy was right behind you.
the guy was behind me. I'm joking. Can you imagine that? But anyway, there was thunderstorms with literally flying through lightning and like the plane was like shaking up and down. But you know, we were playing a Nintendo Switch. So we landed and then it was like ridiculously hot in North Carolina because we went there in the summer. And then we finally made it to Socks and then we all made out and that was my story.
What?
Yay!
Yay! Happy ending!
So you should have gotten the phone number of that guy that was the bloke on the plane.
Yeah, he wants to keep talking to you.
When you guys pick your seat, which seat do you guys always choose?
The window?
Yeah, I agree. I'm the same way. Just because I love seeing out the window. You know what I'm saying? Being able to see the heights, the views. That's my favorite part about going into the plane. And so one day I ended up flying.
Wait, I'm so sorry. Just kidding. I'm not sorry. I hate it when people like you, Tuxie, sit on the window seat and I'm sleeping like and then you open the window seat, flashbanging the entire plane in my eyes.
I do that sometimes just for fun, just to wake people up.
You're evil. No, you're actually evil. What is that?
But you know what? I think karma ended up catching up to me. I ended up being at the first people to arrive at the line. You know, there's ABC. I'm at the window seat. I was the first person in that line. And I ended up getting ready, getting set up. I was so excited. I had my window seat, put my bag under the front seat, got everything ready, got my Switch out. I was like super excited. Maybe take a little Instagram post, you know what I'm saying? Oh my God, I'm flying somewhere. I'm flying to Florida. I'm so excited. Florida. And I was like, oh man, there's nobody here yet. I'm ready to kick back. I'm ready to relax on my flight. And then I was waiting. It took a while. It kept filling up, but nobody was still there yet until I heard something. You felt a little shake to the plane. A little boom, boom,
Nadway's mom started boarding.
Okay, bro.
There was a really big fella ended up walking from the front of the plane all the way to my line.
Wait. Tuxie, that's kind of mean calling Nadway's mom a big fella.
A person with more to love, is that better? Ended up walking over to right next to where I was. And he says, hi, puts the backpack on top, and he moves right into the middle seat.
Oh, dude, he's literally cooking 2 people at once.
I was like, oh no, at first. It wasn't even that bad. He ended up taking both armrests, which I'm a little picky about that. But you know what? The middle seat, in my opinion, the middle seat should get both armrests in the middle because they don't have like the window or lane.
I never used the armrest because I'm a little sissy boy and I don't fight for them. So I just give them up to people.
No, I fight.
He ended up lifting up the armrests so that he could get a little bit more space. I didn't have space to man spread. So I had to squeeze both my knees together for all of us to fit into the lane. Even though he was a big fella, it was kind of comfy. It was like being squished together between a pillow. But then it got really hot.
No. I'm jumping out the plane.
He was like a heater, bro. So imagine you're in a closed space. The person right next to you is emitting a lot of warmth.
I'm a space heater, so I feel bad for people who sit next to me. But
Exactly. I'm also a space heater. But here's the thing. I was also wearing a jacket.
Oh, no, you're cooked. You're dying. You're dying on that flight. You're never making out.
When you're already in your spot, you're squished between a big fella. It's kind of hard to take your clothes off. And if you take your clothes off, it's going to be even more sweaty because it's out there. It was only about 3 hours, so it's not too bad. But I ended up riding a 3-hour flight. It was like I was sweating bullets the whole flight all the way through just because it wasn't that bad in the sense that comfort-wise.
That sounds the most miserable. Hey, it's the pilot.
I'm gonna stop flying the plane so I can talk about my story.
Put it on autopilot.
Can I go fly the plane, actually? Will you allow me to do that?
Oh yeah, we can fly the plane.
I'm about to hit a
what?
loop-the-loop, guys. Right, be in your seats. Seatbelt sign is on, guys.
Wait.
Whoa. I'm going. Oh my gosh.
Oh my gosh.
Is everybody okay? You guys had your seatbelts on, right?
I'm okay. I think my head kind of is like upside down, but I'm okay.
There's pee on the ceiling.
Anyways, let me talk about my most embarrassing story.
Wait, embarrassing? I mean, I guess embarrassing could be the worst experience on a flight.
Okay, it was flying out of North Carolina.
Let me just state this. This guy stayed at my place for a couple days. I didn't see him once. 2 straight days. He like cooked his own meals and everything. Never saw him.
That's that hospitality.
That's a good house guest.
I also I peed in the bed, all of the beds, by the way. So anyways, guess what, guys? There was a storm. So I go into plane. I'm like, okay. And then we start lifting off.
Wait, who lifted you into the seat? The seat is way too tall for you, Muffin.
I actually gave him uppies.
I was like, okay. I am so afraid of planes. So like before the engine starts, I'm sweating and I'm like dying basically because I hate flying. So then the engines start and then I'm dying even more. All right, there's nothing going on. It's a sunny, clear day basically. So then the plane starts and then we start going up and I'm compulsating.
Is that even a word?
I don't know, bro. Shut up.
He's ovulating.
The flight attendants are like worried for me. They think like I'm dying.
You're shaking that much?
I'm like with my parents too. I'm just such a baby. But yeah, they're like, is she okay? 1 hour passes. Then I see the clouds. They're super dark and there's like giant storm. And then we get turbulence. It's like the most it's pretty average turbulence. Like it's really not a big of a deal.
This is your second flight ever and you already know what average turbulence is?
To me, that's the average turbulence because that's the only turbulence I've experienced basically. It's like the most average flight. Like I'm not even kidding, but I'm like dying, okay?
Is this guy just explaining a normal flight experience and he's like, it was the worst experience of my life?
He went from one airport to another one. Oh my God.
The turbulence starts. It's like rocking a little bit. It's like pretty average. I'm like dying. I'm like, ah!
Sir, I asked if you wanted a Sprite or a Coke. Jeez.
Ah! The flight attendant asked again. They're like making hand movements to my parents. They're like, is he okay? After an hour of turbulence, I land and yeah, I was like a big baby about it. I'm fine now.
The world's most regular flight, but the airline assistants were worried about that.
Wow, I'm glad that you got over your fear, Muffin. Oh my God. If you guys enjoyed, make sure to subscribe for more stories and check out another one right over here.